look like Mrs. Potato.
Hello, is this Paul?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Paul, this is Paul, Outsider Tackle Box radio show and podcast. We have my good buddy Tommy sitting next to me. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, Paul?
Hey, guys, what's up?
All right.
It's good to finally speak with you, Paul. I know that we have made contact in the past. Actually, Tommy, when we first started out, Paul and the Edmond High Bass Team, we sponsored them, and so Paul's been following us for quite some time.
Yes, he has.
So we appreciate everything that you have done for us, Paul, and thank you for spreading the word for Outsider Tackle Box.
Yes, we do appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. We love doing it for you guys. It's a lot of fun.
Well, we like to mess around with you guys, too, so we obviously talk a lot of little smack, but, that's who we are. I'm sure you've watched the show a couple of times and you've seen, like, the two idiots that, are on the show. One of which being Paul.
Yeah.
The smart one being me. But, damn.
Paul
pop off my head.
Paul does a lot of, he has his own YouTube channel. He does a lot of other things, not just fishing, but he's got some other he'll film pretty much, and he could tell us a little bit about it, but it's pretty much just the life and the day of Paul.
Hey, well, that's not too bad.
Isn't that right, Paul? Or did I get it wrong?
Yeah, I do a lot of things. It's a pretty entertaining life.
Well, you can't complain there. I mean, there you go. It's an entertaining life.
When I spoke with him, he was taking a class and learning about media, and
you should have probably taken that class.
I can't take you seriously. I'm looking at Tommy. He's wearing he just looks so silly. But welcome to the show. And the idea behind the radio show and podcast is to spread happiness to the world through the joys of fishing. And you sent in a photo with, that thing is a giant bass, and so
don't talk about him like that.
Where you caught
you're talking
fish,
about the fish. Oh, sorry.
What bait you were using, and the size, if you were able to measure it. And I understand you are a competitive bass fisherman, and so if that was in a tournament, that would be great. And you could go ahead and plug your bass fishing team and anything you want to, if you guys are competing. But let's hear your fish story.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So it was actually a pretty entertaining day. We started out catfishing that day, and it was just kind of a day that we were all hanging out as friends, and the catfish were not biting. Long story short.
Darn things.
But so we decided to go and do what we were good at, which is bass fishing. So
there you go.
We went and hit a few local ponds that we fish a lot, that we go out and do a lot of practice in, like working on techniques like drop shotting and things like that. So we were out in we were on a back pond in this neighborhood that one of our friends lives in, and I was actually throwing a Nate's Custom Baits hybrid vibe.
Oh yes, and those are good. Nate's Custom Baits.
You
hear that, Tommy? I don't know that. Tommy's paying attention.
No, I heard Nate's Custom Baits vibe. Yeah, I know what it was.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a black and blue hybrid vibe, and just was throwing it on. I was actually throwing it on Landon's rod because my rod, my real Backlash, and I didn't have anything else. There's a reason we're called the Backlash Boyz. So yeah, that's actually our YouTube channel, is Backlash Boyz.
See, he even plugged himself because you couldn't do it. He didn't have enough faith in you.
There's a reason that we're called the Backlash Boyz. So nice. I just threw it. It was a really hot day, so just kind of threw it back up under a tree and burned it in and got nailed right on the shore. And it's actually funny because I have a video of this. This is on our channel.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, there's an entire video of this where we go catfishing. We end up at Walmart and stuff, and then we go and catch a giant bass. I scream. The neighbors think I'm insane.
That would probably throw them for a loop. They're like, there was a lot of screaming coming from the trees.
Yeah, they were very confused.
That's awesome.
We know the feeling. People look at us, and we can tell what
They look
what
at
that
you
look,
and they get confused.
the body language people give us is, and not a lot of people know who we are, but when they do, they understand it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people just look at you and they're like, "What is that? Is that a man baby?
Why is his hair like that?"
It looks like a 12-year-old with a beard. And why is he hanging out with Sasquatch? I don't get it. I don't know.
Let's get back to Paul. It's his fish story.
I know.
And he's got a lot of things to talk about because he's part of a bass fishing team.
Yes.
He's got buddies that fish with him.
Yep.
Any tournament wins?
We do not have any tournament wins, although it's been a pretty entertaining past few seasons with the team. Obviously, since we aren't directly built through the school, we have to fund everything.
Yeah.
So we don't get to make as much tournaments and stuff like that we would like to. But the tournaments that we do make, we've placed pretty well at. We had, I don't remember what it was. It was we had like a 20 place finish at the state championship last year.
Beautiful.
Out of 150 teams. So
that's not too bad.
Yeah, we when we go, we put up a good fight. But it's a good group of guys. Landon, Jameson, and Connor. They're just it's been fun growing up with them, and with me being it's a high school fishing team. So with me being a senior this year, it's kind of hard because they're all juniors. So I'm getting ready to dip
I mean, you're the big man on campus now. I mean, you've earned that right. You've earned that right.
And I love every bit of him being 20th. You know, it's like if you were 20 out of top 20 teams, that's kind of says everything outsider.
If you were 20th out of top...
the last place team needs a sponsor is what I'm saying, Tommy. Everybody needs a sponsor, and if something that had a brand called We're Outsiders, which is us, that's who their sponsor would be.
I appreciate
we don't want first place
the name
teams. I mean, it's okay.
Hey, first, it don't matter. That's the point. It don't matter whether you're first, last, or you didn't even compete, but you like fishing, whatever.
It's like fine. You, Tommy, like you're a straight D student, right? We have you talking
I wouldn't say
people.
Straight D.
You got a C?
There may have been an F in there.
Okay.
In PE.
I can understand why you got an F in PE.
Yeah, I don't keep this curvy figure by working out. I mean, come on, you don't do that.
Well, senior in high school, that's got to be fun, and
Paul
we
remembers
appreciate you sending in your photos. Tell everybody where they could find your YouTube channel. It's Backlash Boyz is your YouTube channel. Anything else that you're doing so we can get you some people to get you some views and followers?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. So on YouTube it is Backlash Boyz, and Boyz is Boyz instead of Boys because we think we're edgy.
That's gangsta.
And you can find us on Instagram at Edmond High Bass Team as well, and we post a lot of things involving Outsider Tackle Box and our other sponsors and what we're doing. We're going to be back on the trail here coming up in 2 weeks, the 30th and 31st. We'll be out at Eufaula fishing the high school series. So
cool.
Well, good luck with that. We wish you the best in all your tournaments, and continue to send in photos and come back on the show as much as you want.
Absolutely.
We do broadcast this thing nationwide, as
actually,
you know,
it's worldwide.
and worldwide.
Woo.
We actually, you've been with us since the very beginning, Paul. So thank you very much. But we started just in my garage, and now we have a distribution in Germany. So our boxes are sold in Europe, and we get larger.
Why'd you look at me when you said larger?
Because you take up a lot of space.
I do.
So we have been growing, and when you and I spoke, I mean, we're pretty much just getting off the ground, and so it's been a great ride, and we're glad you were a part of it.
Absolutely.
And we understand you actually at one point, Paul and the Edmond High Bass Team we're our number one referral source.
Yep.
And I know you didn't know that, but just so you know, we do track that. And yes, Paul and his group of buddies.
The Backlash Boys were on top of it for a long while.
Yeah.
So
the longest.
Yep.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. We'd love to have you back, and we'll reach out pretty soon here. We bootstrap this whole thing, so the money that we put together is usually out of mine and Tommy's pocket. And so our sponsorships kind of roll.
So be sure to vote on the FedEx vote thing.
Yes, thank you, Tommy.
For sure, yeah, I've been voted on that daily.
Good,
so.
good. Yeah, that'll definitely help us out. We want to put together a better show and a bigger deal for everybody here. So,
of course.
So from all of us here at Outsider Tackle Box, fish more, tight lines.
Tight lines. Have a good Saturday, bud.
And we'll reach out soon.
Yep. Take care.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Bye.